Welcome to Tales from the Table. Again, I'm really happy that you're here because this week I really have to start off with an apology because this session may get a little abrasive, and you'll find out why in just a few minutes. But today we are going to talk once again. I'm going to go way, way back into the archives, way back. This was when I started to really first partake in soft tissue and soft tissue healing. I am going all the way back to 2004, 2005 with this one, somewhere around there. I think closer to 2005. All right. And what we're going to talk about today is the ankle, which is probably one of the most, if not the most, misunderstood joint in the entire human body. The amount of people that I see walking around with ankle braces, especially after they sprained their ankle, which is probably it's 1A and 1B. Okay. The people who, like, let's say volleyball players, there are a lot of volleyball players where they wear ankle braces while they're playing volleyball. And then you see football players, countless football players, that are taping their ankles before practice, before games, things of that nature. And they're going to say, oh, I do this because I had this really bad ankle sprain this one time, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, great, I get it. Yeah, everybody's had an ankle sprain. It doesn't mean that I'm going to tape my ankles before I go shopping. Okay, so to me, looking at the ankle and the amount of things that it does, second to this is something like the wrist. People who say, oh, I have carpal tunnel or I sprained my wrist, and they perpetually wear one of those wrist braces that just, they look ugly. Number one, everybody knows that you have an injury. Number two, it's kind of like a badge of sorrow, not a badge of honor. It's kind of like a badge of sorrow. Look at everybody. Look at me. I have an injury. I'm a 36-year-old stay-at-home mom, and I garden on the weekend. And look at my injured wrist. The wrists, the ankles, the hands, the feet. These things are doing the most for us throughout the day, every single day. To brace them, to confine them, is like a baby just learning how to walk, and you taking that baby and putting in a straitjacket, okay, and then also putting it in a lower body cast and just being like, no, you can't move. You can't. You're not allowed to do anything. I'm sorry. You can't do anything, even though you are meant to be bouncing off the walls and running around and being so active and finding things out and exploring, et cetera, et cetera. You can't move. Okay. And then when people come to me with ankle pain, I can tell you many different stories. But people come to me with ankle pain and they tell me how they twisted their ankle, et cetera, et cetera. And they've had it in a brace and they've put ice on it and they've done everything wrong. And within one session, I work on what needs to be worked on. We'll get into that in just a minute. The pain, they get up, where'd my pain? How did my pain go away? You didn't even work on my ankle. It's because all of this information is suppressed. And the people who put it out then are laughed off of the internet. They're labeled or designed as quacks. And that's because we can't have you believing in your own sovereign right to heal, right? And the things that I could show you today, they don't even require me to help you through in order to help your ankle. You can just take what I'm going to tell you today, do it on yourself. You don't even need me. That's how simple these things are. When you know the true mechanistic nature of the human body and how it operates, you can unfurl injuries very quickly in a matter of days. There's no need for 3-6 months of PT, et cetera, et cetera. And remember, I worked in physical therapy. It's a complete sham for most people, okay? Which you probably watching this, you fit into the most people category, I'm sure. So, Devon Bess, wide receiver for the University of Hawaii Warriors, ends up spraining his ankle really bad in practice. And guess what? In 3 days, Chicago Bears are coming down to watch him practice and watch him play against the University of Washington. Okay. So he contacts me, hey, bro, my ankle is killing me. I can't barely run. And I say, come on over to my place. Comes over to my place right off Pensacola. very close to the city of Honolulu. And he's walking down. I have a very long hallway. Okay. I was all the way at the end of this very long hallway, and I see him walk, and he's hobbling. He's in pain. Take him into my apartment. I start doing a little bit of massage on the peroneals, okay, which are on the side of your leg. Here are your peroneals. All right. So I want you to look. There's my ankle, bone, skin, ligament, tendon. There's no muscle there. What gives? So I sprained my ankle and it's swollen. Okay, there's no muscle there, right? It's not a muscular injury. Where is the muscle that controls the ankle? The peroneals. Peroneus longus, peroneus brevis. Okay, these guys right here are the operation and command center for the ankle. All of the information for the ankle is from here to here. And then it gets transmitted into the ankle while we're walking. This guy's saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. So whenever we sprain, okay, invert, it doesn't matter. All right, invert's going to be a little bit more on the soleus side, but still the peroneals, they're going to be all kablooey. They're going to not like what happened. Okay, this is where we are grinding and working out. We're rolling on it. All right, and there are some very easy ways that you can do that. So he comes into my apartment. I did some soft tissue work on the peroneals. They were very tight. And he was there for about 3 hours. We did a lot of band work. Okay. Stand up, walk around, a little bit more massage, band work, stand up, walk around. After 3 hours, he got up and he was able to run approximately 80% speed up and down my hallway. Okay. And that was 3 hours of work. Now, this is not my information. The architecture of this was a coach who created a program called Don't Ice That Ankle. The name of this coach is Dick Hartzell. He created jump stretch bands. And what he would do is he would travel around the country selling his bands, going to high schools, going to gyms, and he would get a table this high, just like any old lunch table, like a folding table. He would jump off of the folding table onto the ground and land on his ankle. And everybody would be like, oh my God. And he would be like, don't worry, I'm totally fine. And he would walk around, nothing wrong. And he would say, the only reason I have these robust ankles is because of these ankle exercises that he showed in the book called Don't Ice This Ankle that I purchased in 2002. Okay. And from that book, I ended up learning very, very early. Number one, you get an injury, you get inflammation. We don't want to ice it. Why don't we want to ice anything in our body after an injury, especially the ankle? Are you smarter than 4 million years of evolution? The oldest hominid that we have discovered, I believe, up until now is Lucy. I think she's 4.32 million years old. All right. You get injured, your body starts to produce inflammation to come to the rescue and heal whatever the problem is. And what do? We take ice and we say, no, inflammation is bad. Stop the inflammation, body. You're smarter than 4.32 million years of evolution. So that's why in my books, especially the back pain Bible and knee pain Bible, foot and ankle pain Bible, I say, leave ice for your cocktail. You want to ice something, put it in your scotch. I prefer it neat, but some people like it a little bit chilled, right? So we never, number one, you twist an ankle, you do not want to ice it. I could parallel this. I'm going to throw this little tidbit in. I had a CrossFit athlete of mine doing a 400-pound farmer's carry. Okay. He had 200 pounds in each hand. And this kid was doing the farmer's carry through his parking lot that was those big rocks, like the really big rocks parking lot that's super inconvenient to park in, and then dust gets all over the place, everything like that. That's he was doing farmer's carries in a parking lot like that, twisted his ankle, and he was like, I'm calling CK right away. Everybody else in the gym was like, yo, you got to get some ice on that. Look at how it's swelling up. He came over, did the same thing I did for Devon, and within 3 days, he was back doing box jumps, squatting heavy, running, no pain, no problem. Took about a week to heal completely, no pain, no problem after 3 days. All right. So first, number one, we sprain an ankle. We do not want to ice that sucker. All right. What do, Chris? We want to do proprioceptive exercises, and we want to start working on those peroneals. Start massaging them. Get the body's idea of the injury to go away. We need to get the body's idea of the injury to go away. That's what we need to do. So we need to start pampering those peroneal muscles. We need to start to relax them. They're going to be very tight from the mechanism of action that injured it. That's what we want to do. We first want to relax that tissue. Secondly, we're going to do a lot of proprioceptive exercises for the ankle. And I'll create another video with this whole protocol, and I'll drop it later on this coming week for you. But we'll go back to Devon's story where I was doing the exercises, doing the massage, doing the exercise, doing the massage. And like I said, in 3 days' time, he was practicing full blown, 100%, no pain, no problems in that ankle. All right. And all of the athletic trainers, everybody was like, "Oh, who did you go to? How did they do this?" And he was just like, "Don't worry about it, man. Like, don't worry about it." And here's the thing: the ankle is responsible for so much. You put ice on that ankle and you restrict the blood flow that is trying to get into the ankle cavity in order to heal that rapid eccentric movement with the stretch from the sprain, okay, and then the concentric contraction, all right, coming back, when you get off your ankle or whatever. It's very, very traumatic for that entire complex. So we create a whole bunch of micro tears in there, a whole bunch of little micro tears in the tendons, in the ligaments, and things like that. The body produces inflammation in order to heal it. So what do we want to do, Chris? Soak it in heat. Soak it in some hot water. Put a hot compress on it. Put a heating blanket on it. Bring more blood to the area. Expand that area, right? Because what does heat do? Heat helps things flow. It melts things. It helps things expand. What does ice do? Ice constricts things. Ice gels things. Ice slows things down. Doesn't make any sense to put ice on an injury ever, ever. I'm going to pause and I want you to write that down. Don't ever put ice on an injury. We want heat. We want soft tissue work, massage. We want movement. And my friend who twisted his ankle with that 400-pound farmer's carry, I told him, I said, I want you walking around. You are going to walk as slowly as you, but as perfect as you can. So he would walk to the speed of walking perfectly, walking normal without his ankle hurting too much. You see what I'm saying? So you almost pretend that injury doesn't exist, and you just relax throughout your day and try and flow as best you can with it. All right. So this is just another indicator. This is just another indicator of how messed up the protocol is these days for athletes, especially, but even lay people that get these type of injuries. When Devon started in the NFL, he was still taping his ankles for 2 years, and he was starting to have foot problems. He was starting to have ankle problems. And I told him, I said, bro, stop taping your ankles. And he trusted me very much at that point. So he stopped taping his ankles. The first day that he practiced without tape, he couldn't believe how good he felt when he was moving. Like, this is how ingrained we sometimes are. Somebody just tells us to do something. You see everybody else doing it, and you figure, okay, I should do that. Do you have problems with your ankles? No. Why do you tape them? Because I play football. That doesn't make any sense. Because I don't want to twist it. It still doesn't make any sense. Because I have had athletes taped to the max, and they've still sprained an ankle. Okay? Doesn't make any sense still, yet again. Stop icing your ankle. Stop using support for it. Get your ankles strong. Do a lot of barefoot jumping, a lot of barefoot walking, a lot of barefoot running, a lot of barefoot jump roping. Strengthen those tendons, strengthen those ligaments, strengthen the soleus, strengthen the peroneus, brevis, longus, strengthen your calves to the best of your ability. And you are never going to have a problem recovering from a twisted ankle again. All right. Love, light, and aloha. I'll see you in the next one.